This is KVUE News Midday.
The debate over bathrooms in Texas, the emotional and passionate debate over transgender children in school. What was decided late last night?
President Donald Trump on his first foreign trip since taking office, the important people he's meeting with in the Middle East and in Europe, and what he's hoping this trip will do. Good morning to you. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Anavid Reyes. Thank you for watching Austin's News Leader. All right, now looking live outside, let's take a look at what we're tracking with Storm Team meteorologist Nathan Gogo.
Yeah, the rain, it was a wet morning, but the good news is the rain is out of here, and now we're seeing a dry rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Our next chance of rain will actually come tonight. Here's what it looks like on radar, a lot quieter than it was this morning and really much of yesterday. We widen the view. Notice all the rain showers off towards Houston, East Texas. A big batch of rainfall moving into Louisiana now. So we're drying things out for now, but more rain coming our way again tonight and for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like looking at the Capitol. Temperatures right now in the upper 60s. Feels pretty good outside because the cloud cover and some of those rain showers for the morning keeping us a bit cool. 66 in Bastrop, Lockhart at 63, 61 in Blanco, the cool spot. So going from here, temperatures today only going to reach the mid to upper 70s. That's about 10 to 15 degrees below normal for this time of year, thanks to, again, the cloud cover. But we'll warm things back up by the end of this week, and we are going to see more rainfall for tonight and for tomorrow. We'll have that hour-by-hour forecast coming up.
Thank you, Nathan. Well, Texas is one step closer to a so-called bathroom bill requiring people to use the bathroom that aligns with the sex on their certificate.
That's right, but the new version of the Texas House that the Texas House approved last night would only affect public schools. KVUE's Christy Millward has more from the state capitol.
These bathroom restrictions approved last night would only apply to public schools. The House of Representatives tacked this on as an amendment to a Senate school safety bill that otherwise deals with emergency plans for things like natural disasters. Proponents of the change say this version of the so-called bathroom bill will not have as much backlash because they say it won't affect the state's economy. Several organizations like the NFL and NBA have expressed concerns about statewide bathroom restrictions. Under the bill, transgender students at public schools would not be permitted to use the bathroom of their choice, but could use a separate single-occupancy restroom if available. While some say this is about child safety, others believe it's just discrimination.
Let's be very honest and clear here. This amendment is the bathroom bill. And the bathroom bill is an attack on transgender people. Some people don't want to admit that. Maybe that's because they're ashamed, and make no mistake about it, this is shameful.
Nothing in this language discriminates against anyone. In fact, it makes sure that there are reasonable accommodations for all children.
Last week, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said he would force a special session if the House didn't pass a so-called bathroom bill. Many believe this amendment was part of the Patrick ultimatum. It's a proposal more limited than Patrick wanted, but something House Republicans could support. Speaker of the House Joe Strauss said in a statement, "I believe this amendment will allow us to avoid the severely negative impact of Senate Bill 6, which was the original version of the bathroom bill." The House should give the bill a final approval today. Then it will go back to the Senate for a vote before it would go on to the governor. Reporting from the state capitol, Christy Millward, back to you.
A proposal to eliminate straight ticket voting is headed to the governor's desk to become law. The bill means voters will have to go through the entire ballot voting on each race and each candidate rather than a single ballot marking. The change is set to begin September 2020 if signed.
Lawmakers reached what they call a very tight state budget deal. Under the deal, the state will use about $1 billion from the Rainy Day Fund to pay for things such as bulletproof vests for police officers and repairs to the state's mental health hospitals. There's not as much money as some would have liked for Medicaid and some college programs. The two-year state budget, the top priority for the legislature, must be approved before the regular session ends on Saturday.
A big question at the state capitol: will Governor Greg Abbott sign the newly passed texting while driving bill? Lawmakers in both chambers have voted in favor of the ban, but when that happened back in 2011, Governor Rick Perry vetoed the measure.
Happening today, officers will begin handing out tickets to drivers who aren't buckled up behind the wheel as part of their Click It or Ticket campaign for Central Texas. Police preparing for the Memorial Day holiday weekend when lots of people are expected to be traveling. Officers will also ticket passengers who aren't wearing seat belts and parents who don't have children in the correct booster seat. Drivers who don't click it could face up to $200 in fines, up to $250 for kids that aren't properly buckled in. The enforcement expected to end on June the 4th.
President Donald Trump's first trip overseas as commander-in-chief is on to its second stop, Israel. The 9-day tour started in Saudi Arabia over the weekend.
Right, the president dramatically shifted from the tough talk heard on the campaign trail to a message of unity before the world's Muslim leaders. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports the president is calling for leaders to step up.
Today, President Trump is in Israel, hoping to broker what he calls the ultimate deal, Middle East peace. The president and first lady touring one of Christianity's holiest sites and the Western Wall, Judaism's holiest prayer site, while also meeting with the Israeli president. Over the weekend, President Trump kicked off his 9-day overseas trip in Saudi Arabia, the birthplace of Islam. Donald Trump sharing a message of unity to leaders from more than 50 different Muslim nations.
I stand before you as a representative of the American people to deliver a message of friendship and hope and love.
A different tone from President Trump compared to candidate Trump last year when he proposed banning all Muslims from entering the U.S. and portrayed Islam as the enemy.
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there.
President Trump, however, challenging leaders to step up and defeat terrorists in their nation.
A better future is only possible if your nations drive out the terrorists and drive out the extremists.
But here in Washington, the probe into Russia's meddling in the U.S. presidential election last year continues. Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, is expected to plead the Fifth Amendment later today and not hand over documents to the Senate panel leading the investigation. General Flynn's lawyer offered to have him testify before Congress in exchange for guaranteed immunity, but the Senate and House Intelligence Committees did not accept his offer. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will invoke the Fifth Amendment. Flynn will refuse to honor a Senate committee subpoena request for documents relating to Russian interference in the election last year. The Fifth Amendment gives an individual the right to protect himself or herself against self-incrimination. To date, Flynn, the only Trump associate that the Senate has subpoenaed. Headed to the river this holiday weekend? Well, leave the cans at home. The latest on the can ban in New Braunfels coming up.
And the oldest living World War II veteran remains in an Austin hospital. We've got an update on Richard Overton.